The Ayodeji family was always full of life and laughter. Ever since the twins, Farid and Farida, were born, their home seemed to glow with happiness. Everywhere they went, joy seemed to follow them like a shadow. The twins were very close, so close that it was hard to imagine one without the other. As children, they did everything together. They played hide and seek in the big garden, running between the trees and the flower beds, laughing so loudly that even the neighbors could hear. They shared meals, often stealing food from each other's plate and giggling about it. At night, they would whisper secrets to one another under the cover, planning adventures and dreaming of faraway places. Even the people who worked in the house loved them, unlike some children from wealthy families who looked down on others. Farid and Farida were kind and humble. They greeted the drivers with warm hugs, played football with the gateman, and sat in the kitchen teasing the cooks, making everyone laugh with their silly jokes and funny faces. Their house felt alive with their big energy, and no one could resist smiling around them. But of all the people in the house, their hearts belonged most to Halima, their nanny. She had been with them since the day they were born. She was patient, gentle, and always full of love. Halima treated them as if they were her own children, caring for them through sickness, comforting them after bad dreams, and celebrating every little achievement. Farid and Farida adored her, and she adored them right back. As they grew older, their bond only grew stronger. By the time they turned 20, both were in university. They lived together in a modest two-bedroom flat, laughing and helping each other with studies, sharing stories about their days, and supporting each other through challenges. To anyone from the outside, their closeness seemed natural, just a brother and a sister who loved each other deeply. But soon, the way they were so attached to each other started to catch people's attention. Whispers began to spread among classmates and neighbors. Some thought it was strange that they were always together, always looking out for one another, and little by little, curiosity turned into gossip. The twins don't notice at first. They were too busy enjoying their life and the world they had built together. But the whispers would not be ignored forever, and soon everything they thought they knew about themselves and their family would be questioned. In the beginning, everything seemed normal. Farid was very protective of his sister Farida. Whenever other boys came close to her, Farid would gently pull her to his side as if he wanted to keep her safe. And Farida was the same. If any girl tried to smile at Farid or talk to him in a sweet way, Farida would give the girl a sharp look, almost like a warning. At first, some people thought it was cute. They thought the siblings were just very close, but after a while, their friends started to notice that something felt a little strange. One evening, after seeing Farid and Farida hugging each other tightly in public, one of Farid's classmates laughed and said, "You two are doing too much. People are starting to talk about you." Farida only gave a small smile. She held Farid even closer and said, "Let them talk. They don't really know us." But even if Farida didn't care, the rumors kept growing. Students whispered about them in the hostel halls. Some people said the siblings acted more like a couple than brother and sister. Things got even worse when a fight broke out. A boy who liked Farida tried to talk to her, and Farid became angry. They ended up shouting and pushing each other, and everyone saw it. And that day, more people began to wonder, why were Farid and Farida attached to each other? Was it just normal sibling love, or was something else going on between them? One holiday, the twins returned home. It was a bright afternoon when Mrs. Ayodeji, humming softly, opened Farida's bedroom door without knocking. Her words stopped. "Ẹ gbà mí o," she screamed, clutching her head. My God! Farid and Farida froze, their bodies slick with sweat, their faces paled. They were tangled together on the bed, exposed, undeniable. Within seconds, The household erupted. Mr. Ayodele rushed in, his face ashen. Halima dropped the tray she was carrying, covering her mouth in shock. Farida burst into tears, while Farid sat motionless, his expression unreadable. How long has this been happening? Mr. Ayodele thundered. Farida trembled, her voice breaking. It was Farid. He started it. Mrs. Ayodeji lunged at her son, slapping and biting in rage. Omwali, bastard, you have ruined us. But Alima quickly grabbed Farid from her. Please, ma, don't hurt him, she said with a shaking voice. The family sat in stunned silence, the weight of the moment pressing down like a storm. Mrs. Ayodeji turned on Alima. So this was your plan all along. You planted this evil in my house. Alima fell to his knees, weeping. Madam, please, I swear, I never. Leave her out of this, Farid interrupts sharply. His voice shook. But his eyes blazed. If you want someone to blame, blame me and you. How dare you? His mother began, but he cut her off. I have known the truth since I was 10, he shouted. The room froze. Farid's voice softened as he recounted the night he overheard Alima and his mother speaking, how they thanked each other for raising him as though he was truly part of the family. I knew I wasn't your son. I pretended not to know, but it ate at me every day. The truth stunned everyone into silence. Farida staggered down the stairs, her eyes wide with disbelief. Is it true? All of it. His father lowered his head. Yes. Farida sobbed through the house. You fooled me. You made me believe I was abominable, when all this time it wasn't even my blood. She turned on Farid, her face twisted with pain. And you let me drown in shame while you knew the truth. I hate you, Farid. I hate you. Farid's chest cracked under his word. He walked away in silence, heading for Alima's room. Alima's small room had a soft smell of baby powder and old clothes. She slowly packed a few belongings into a faded, tired looking bag. Her hands moved quietly, but her heart felt heavy. Just then, Farid walked in. Where are you going? He asked, his voice sharp with worry. Alima looked down at the floor. Your mother told me to leave, she said softly. She said I should never come back to this house. Farid's eyes widening. If you're leaving, he said suddenly, then I'm going with you. Halima stopped moving. She stared at him in shock. Farid, you can't, she whispered. This is your home. Your life is here. But Farid shook his head, his voice strong and sure. No, this house doesn't feel like mine anymore. You are the one who has always cared for me. You are my real mother, and I will follow you everywhere you go. Slowly, Halima raised her shaking hands and hid his face gently. It was the first time she had ever done that. Tears rolled down her cheeks. My son, she whispered, her voice full of love and pain she has hidden for many years. That night, when everyone was sleeping, Halima and Farid left the house quietly. They walked to the gate where Babatunde the gateman stood. He looked confused when he saw them with their bags. Where are you going at this hour? He asked, frowning. Halima's voice was soft but firm. Please open the gate, she said. We need to go. Babatunde hesitated, but he finally pushed the gate open. The heavy iron gate made a long, sad creaking sound as they stepped outside. When it was closed behind them, it felt like the end of the chapter. Farid didn't turn around. He didn't want to see the house he was leaving behind. By the next morning, they had disappeared completely, leaving the house quiet, empty, and filled with the sadness of two people who were no longer there. The Ayodele mansion was never the same after Farid left. The big house, which used to be full of laughter and noise, now felt cold and empty. And the person who changed the most was Farida. Farida was no longer the bright, cheerful girl everyone knew. It was like she had become a shadow of herself. She walked slowly, talked softly, and looked lost all the time. She stopped smiling. She stopped playing the piano. Even though she used to fill the whole house with music, she stopped talking to the cooks, the cleaners, and even the driver who she used to joke with every morning. Every night, she sat on her bed holding Farid's old hoodie tightly against her chest. It still smelled like him. She would bury her face in the cloth and whisper his name into the darkness. Farid, Farid, please come back. Her parents were worried and tried many times to make her feel better. They told her everything would be okay. They bought her gifts. They took her out, but nothing worked. Instead, Farida grew angry. You destroyed everything, she shouted at them one evening. You let him leave. You pushed him away. Her parents stood there, shocked and guilty, but they had no answers for her. Then one night, Farida could no longer keep her feelings inside. She walked into her parents' bedroom. Her face looked pale, tired, but very serious. Her hands were shaking, but her eyes were firm. I want the truth, she said quietly. All of it. Her parents exchanged worried looks. Farida stepped closer. Tell me who Alima really is. Tell me how Farid became my twin when we don't look alike. Tell me everything you have been hiding. She took a deep breath. No more secret, she said. I'm ready to know the truth. With very heavy hearts, Farida's parents finally told her the truth. They looked sad and ashamed, as if they had been carrying a big secret for many years. Her mother took a deep breath and began to speak. Farida, your real twin brother died the day you were born. Farida's eyes widened, but her mother continued softly. Halima was in the same hospital. She had just given birth to a baby boy, but she had no money, no husband, and nowhere to go. Her child's father had run away and left her all alone. Her father added gently, we helped her pay her hospital bill. She was young and frightened. She didn't know what to do. Mrs. Ayodele wiped her eyes. When we lost your real twin, I was heartbroken. Halima saw my pain, and because she had no place to take her baby, we agreed to raise the children together. Her father nodded. Halima moved into our home as a nanny, but really it was so she could quietly stay close to her son while we raised both of you as twins. Farida's whole body shook as she listened. Tears streamed down her face. So all this time, she cried, I wasn't caused. I was doing something evil by loving Farid the way I did. Her mother hugged her tightly. No, my child, you didn't know. None of this was your fault. Farida sobbed even harder. Years of confusion, guilt, and pain poured out of her all at once. Her father came closer and gently took her hand. His voice was firm but full of love. We will find them, he promised. We will bring Farid back, no matter how long it takes. Farida wiped her tears, hope slowly returning to her heart. At last, she knew the truth, and now she was ready to fight for her brother. The investigators searched for days, asking questions and following every clue. Finally, they discovered where Halima and Farid had gone. They were living in Ekiti, a quiet town far away from the busy city. Halima had opened a tiny shop there, selling food items and small household things to make a living. As soon as the Ayodeji family heard the news, they packed their bags and began the long journey to Ekiti. The drive felt endless. Farida sat in the back seat, staring out of the window, her heart beating fast. She kept imagining Farid's face and wondering if he would be happy to see him. When they finally reached the town, they walked down a dusty road where small shops lined the street. Suddenly, Farida stopped in her tracks. Across the road, she saw a boy lifting bags of goods into Halima's shop. Her breath caught in her throat. That's him, she cried. That's Farid. Without waiting for anyone, she ran across the street as fast as her leg could carry her. People moved out of the way, surprised by the sight of a crying girl rushing past them. Farid, she shouted. Farid looked up just in time to see her throw herself in his arm. He stumbled back a little, shocked, but then he held her tightly. I miss you, Farida sobbed, burying her face in his shoulder. Please don't ever leave me again, please. Farid's arm slowly wrapped around her. His body shook as tears rolled freely down his cheeks. I miss you too, he whispered, holding her even closer. So much. At that moment, it didn't matter where they were. It didn't matter what had happened before. All that mattered was that they had found each other again. Inside Dalima's small shop, the air felt warm and crowded with emotions. The shelves were filled with biscuits, soaps, small bags of rice, and other items, but no one paid attention to them. Everyone's eyes were filled with tears. Mrs. Ayodele stepped forward first. Her hands were shaking, and her voice broke as she spoke. I am so sorry, Alima, she cried. I said things in anger, things I never meant. I pushed you away when you needed love. You have always been like a sister to me. Please, please forgive me. Alima looked at her for a moment. Her own eyes softened. Then she gently took Mrs. Ayodele's hand and squeezed it. It's in the past, Alima said quietly. I don't hold anything against you. We both made mistake. What matters is that we are here now. Mrs. Ayodeji stepped closer to Farid. The boy looked unsure, wondering if he still belonged to the family that he had left behind. But Mr. Ayodeji placed a firm, warm hand on his shoulder. Son, he said, his voice deep but gently, you need to hear this clearly. Blood or not, you are my child. You have always been my son, and you will always be my son. Nothing can change that. Farid's eyes were filled with tears again, this time from relief. For the first time in days, he felt safe. Farida hugged Alima tightly, whispering, Thank you for taking care of him. Thank you for loving him. Alima smiled, brushing tears from her cheeks. Both of you are my children, she replied. You always will be. Little by little, the anger began to melt away. The fear softened. The pain grew lighter. Inside the small shop, surrounded by simple goods and the smell of cooked spices from nearby shops, something precious happened. The family started to heal, not all at once, not perfectly, but step by step, with open hearts and forgiveness, and that was enough. Farid returned to Lagos with his family. The city looked the same, with its busy streets and tall buildings, but for Farid and Farida, everything felt different. They had been apart for so long, and now they were finally together again. They both went back to school and finished their studies. Farida played the piano again, filling their home with music, and Farid was always there by her side. Their bond, which had been tested by time and distance, had grown even stronger. They understood each other in ways no one else could. Even though people whispered and stared, Farid and Farida made their own choice. With their parents' effectual blessing, they married quietly. There was no big party, no fanfare, just the people who truly loved them and the promise they had made to each other. Life slowly returned to a peaceful rhythm. They laughed together, shared meals, and spent quiet evening talking about their dreams. The past was still there in their memories, but it no longer had the power over them. Then one day, Farida discovered she was pregnant. Joy filled the house with, like sunshine. Their parents were overjoyed, hugging them tightly and wiping away happy tears. When the doctor later announced that Farida was expecting twins, the whole family cried together. This time, the tears were only for happiness and gratitude. The twins would grow up in a home filled with love and truth, not secret. It was as if history had repeated itself, but in a way that brought hope, not sorrow. This time, the story was built on honesty, courage, and a love so strong that nothing in the world could break it. And for Farid and Farida, that was the happiest ending they could ever imagine. The end. Or maybe the beginning. Hi, sweethearts! Thank you so much for watching my story today. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you loved it, smash that like button, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe so as to support me. I also want to hear from you. So please drop a comment below and tell me what you think or which story you want next. Thanks again for being part of this journey. See you in my next story. I love you. Bye.